In fact, the Hebrew word for wisdom, it's hokmah, which it doesn't just mean knowledge. It actually means skill in living. It's the kind of insight that a craftsman had after years of shaping wood, right? Or the kind of maturity that a farmer gains after watching the land respond to the seasons, or it's the kind of wisdom that you get, or it's the kind of experience that you have after seeing like years in a particular work and become like an expert in that space, right? In this sense, Proverbs, it's sort of a manual for moral craftsmanship, right? It's a manual for habits, godly habits that leads to a flourishing life. It sort of invites us to shape our lives with attentiveness to God. It invites us to shape our lives with attentiveness to community. It invites us to shape our lives with attentiveness to consequences of actions that we had engaged in. And so Proverbs it's sort of a guide for everyday flourishing, if you will. And so, unlike laws and prophecies, wisdom is in Proverbs. It's the wisdom in Proverbs is deliberately simple. It's memorable, and you could ask, why is that the case? Well, because wisdom is not meant to stay in our heads. It's meant to show up in the choices that we make. For example, chapter 15, verse 1 tells us a gentle answer turns away wrath. Chapter 10, verse 14 of Proverbs tells us that the wise stores up knowledge. Chapter 16, verse 8 tells us, for example, that better a little with righteousness than much gain with injustice. And so you find that in each of these verses, they offer a small window into the larger truth ultimately. And that larger truth is the fact that God cares about how we live and even how we treat others. And so wisdom, or the book of Proverbs, the wisdom in the book of Proverbs ultimately invites us to all actually live in a way that reflects the order, the justice, the beauty of God in the world. But also in this text, in Proverbs 3, there is a theology of trust that is very clear in that text, because I think the centerpiece of this of Proverbs, it's a call to trust.